With the relationship that you're kind of bringing out of producer and scriptwriter, I think is very interesting. I just wondered how much you have an eye on the kind of zeitgeist elements. And people forget this, don't they? Around the time of Notting Hill, you won't remember this, but people were kind of in love with the whole kind of Tony Blair starting out. There was that kind of new Labour sense of hope, all that kind of cliches about being a young country. And by 2003, you were also in that bit where the Gulf War was beginning to, and there was obviously the very famous scene of the American side of it. I wonder how much that sense of place was also, I mean, was that a conscious decision that we're going to put some elements in here which kind of tap in to a feeling and a zeitgeist that was around at that particular time?
No, I think it would be, you know, I would like to say yes, but I think, in fact, no. I think it just grew, the shape of Notting Hill grew out of, you know, we'd said right as we made 4 Weddings, there's going to be no sequel. There's no, you know, 5 weddings and a funeral, or my favorite pitch for a sequel title was 4 skins and a circumcision. But we said no, there's going to be no sequel, and so how do you follow that? We never, I remember when about 2 weeks before Notting Hill came out, and people said, you know, how do you, or maybe 2 months before, because the reviews would have been there 2 weeks before, how are you prepared for all of the comparisons with 4 Weddings? And I sort of went, are we going to be compared to 4 Weddings? And of course, we were. But we'd had to change the nature, and this was conscious, that Richard wrote a big star vehicle. You know, it was, 4 Weddings was very original. Notting Hill had to somehow exist in that big, it was a much bigger budget, in that big romantic comedy world.